Welcome to episode 220 of Clarity Compressed. My name is Paul J. Daly. I'll be your host. Today we're going to talk about what you do when things don't go your way.
Let the good times roll.
This is Clarity Compressed.
So it is, when I'm recording this, it's Monday morning. I just came in. I got to the office. No one's really here yet. And the first thing I want to do is record this show because something is at the top of my mind. That's often what I do with these shows. I really just share a portion of what's going on in my life and kind of what I've been thinking about and what I've been going through. So really listening to this show is kind of a real-time insight into what I'm working through and the things I'm dealing with and the things I'm feeling good about, the things I have questions about, and frankly, which is one of the reasons I even have made this show for 220 episodes. And today I'm coming off a little bit of disappointing news into this morning's email inbox. You know what that's like. You kind of all geared up. You kind of have this element of energy and motivation ready to get about your day. You have plans. You have things that you want to do. You have things you want to accomplish. You're ready to rock. And then all of a sudden, you read that one email. And that one email is like someone just... It like puts a little, it pops the balloon, but not like explodes it, but it just kind of starts deflating it and the balloon starts to fly around. Well, that was my email inbox this morning. It came in the form of somebody that we were really looking forward to hiring and bringing on to the Automotive State of the Union team, which is one of my companies, something I'm super excited about. And we had been kind of talking back and forth with this person to come on board with us for a real critical position. And it's been probably a month, four to 6 week process thus far. We were really excited. We have a lot of plans and a lot of energy in this area of our business. And this morning, the person let us know that they will not be coming on the team. And they said, obviously very grateful, but, they said there are some issues, kind of personal issues going on. I don't know what they are, but they're saying we're like a change in employment right now would not be a good thing. So, had it be different, right? The decision would probably be different. So it's totally bittersweet. I understand issues come up, right? Life comes up and you never really can plan the timing. That's why I believe in kind of the sovereignty and the serendipity of the moment. I kind of land on the fact that it's not supposed to happen right now. And I know that, but at the same time, it's like, it's deflating. And I had that initial feeling of being deflated. And then the next thing that clicked into my mind is like, okay, well, what are we going to do to solve the problem and fill the gaps that need to be filled? And I really started thinking about the fact that most people in life that have been able to build things, who have been able to grow, who have healthy relationships, who have relationships that have been resilient and have lasted a long time, are the people that know what to do when the news doesn't go their way. The people that react, react forward thinking when the news doesn't go their way. You've heard that the concept of failing forward or moving forward. And that is one of the most critical junctures in, I think, maturity and growth. I'm not saying I'm incredibly mature at these decisions, but I am saying that had the same decision happened 10 years ago, my reaction would be different. And had it happened 15 years ago, it would have been a lot different, because the sense of like, oh, now what am I going to do? It was easy to set in back then. But what I've learned over almost now 20 years in business, almost 20 years in marriage, right? 20 years of being a grown-up and being an adult is that my reaction to those situations is far more impactful than anything else around those situations. My reaction, it's the one thing I get to choose. I don't get to choose for the other person whether or not they come on the team. I don't get to choose for the other person the decisions that they make. But I always get to choose how I react to it. And I think that the people who can react in a positive way, and not like a blind positive way, but can adopt the attitude of resiliency, adopt an attitude of like, okay, that didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but that doesn't mean that I can't still go in the direction that I wanted to go or was planning on going. Yes, it will look different. Yes, it will maybe take on a different shape, maybe take on a different timeline. But if we learned anything in the last couple of years, it's that, guess what? We should expect it to be challenging. We should expect it to not be on time, not be available. We should expect service to not be what we thought it could be or should be, because the things in this world are different now. So as the situation's coming up this morning, my ability and my decision to compartmentalize it and choose my reaction to it actually has much more to do with the situation than just about anything else. Now, that doesn't just stop with me, but as a leader in an organization, I get to set the tone for the way the rest of my team reacts to the situation, right? So now if you're in leadership or management, you can start to see and feel the compounding effect that it has when you react that way. Because don't think that your reaction doesn't impact, first of all, if you're a leader, don't think that it doesn't impact your team in a deep and meaningful way. Also, don't think it doesn't impact your peers in a deep and meaningful way. Even if you're not technically the boss, guess what? Your attitude sows into and drives or fuels or takes fuel away from all of the people around you. And so if you want to have the kind of organization or the kind of coworkers or team mentality that is able to take a hit and then just pivot and keep running, well, then you have to start with exhibiting that attitude first. Because I guarantee, if you're a parent, you know this already, right? You see all the little people around you that, you had something to do with creating. You see all of them all of a sudden saying something or behaving in a certain way that looks and sounds pretty familiar. They must have gotten it from their mother, right? No, right? They mimic your behavior. They do what you do. They react and respond to things the way you react and respond to things. It just happens. And to think that your reactions are isolated, that the way you deal with things are isolated, is really a fool's errand. So, as I'm processing through this situation today, as I'm choosing to say, okay, that happened, what's the next move? I get to set that tone for my coworkers, for my business partner, for my team, right? It actually doesn't even matter if someone in your organization is technically above you or below you, right? Your reaction to it still gets to set the tone. You can choose to set the tone. You can choose to set the energy. You can choose to set the next steps in place, actually your next steps in place. And when you do that, guess what? You can't blame anybody else for the trajectory. What happens? I don't know. But if I start out and choose to go in this direction, I can't blame anybody else for the fact that I picked this trajectory. So if it's negative, well, then I can't blame anybody else for the negative trajectory. If it's positive, well, then I can't blame anybody else, or I can't ask anyone else to, I can I can take the credit for the positive trajectory because I picked it. And doesn't it feel so much better when we get to choose something, right? Life is about doing what we can to choose good things. And you have the responsibility and the ability and the opportunity to choose the right thing, the right mindset, and the right trajectory, whether it's in your business situation or your relationship situation or a health situation. You get to choose the trajectory every single day. So I'm going to do my best to choose that trajectory today, working through it in real time. Like I said, a little window into my world this morning. And I hope through sharing this, you can get some clarity and perspective that whatever the next thing is, whatever the thing is that you're wrestling through right now, because I know you are, because you're a living, breathing human being listening to a podcast, you have something you're wrestling through. Choose to take the next step in the trajectory that you want it. Till next week, we'll all see what happens. But whatever happens, I'll see you here because we chose to take another good step forward.
We came to fight.